We're checking, people. Back with another reaction, back with some more Morrissey. And we're going back for another bonus tune included in an expanded folder for his 1988 solo album Viva Hate. And this one is listed as a Viva Hate outtake, so presumably this was not a B-side. It wasn't released, but eventually, with like a deluxe or collector's edition, I forget the specific name of the version that I'm working through. Shout out to Seb. But yeah, this is a Viva Hate outtake. And the track is, and I imagine there's some sarcasm here, but it's Happy Lovers at Last United, which feels, if it were more sincere, and perhaps it will be, I'd have no evidence that it's not genuine, just that of knowing Morrissey's penchant for sardonic or sarcastic songwriting. But yeah, ultimately, if it were more sincere, you'd be inclined to say that two people kept apart or keeping each other apart for reasons of misunderstanding or circumstance or complications, be they, again, external or internal to the dynamic between, that at some point conditions changed or fell into place such that they can now be united and there's no more obstacles, there's no more stresses or pressures being placed on the situation of them coming together. So given, like I said, my understanding of Morrissey's songwriting, limited certainly still at this point, but I would be inclined to think there's some twist, there's some dark underbelly, there's some sarcastic rendering of the phrase. So let's find out if that's the case. This is Morrissey. The tune is Happy Lovers at Last United, a Viva Hate outtake, presumably from 1988.
Together, oh, and I do feel proud. Happy lovers reunited, oh,
it could apply to Romeo and Juliet, right?
Now, I'm not the type to boast, as you know, though it was me who brought them back together. He is so kind, and she's so clever, but they don't want me now, hanging around.
You served your role.
Happy lovers at last, united. Happy lovers at last, united. To her to explain of how he really wants to see you again. I said more or less the same thing to him too, which wasn't true. And now they walk hand in hand, all is planned with the silent glance. I believe that only lovers share, and I'm proud to have done something good for once. 'Cause she's so kind and he's so clever, but they don't need me now, hanging around. Happy lovers at last, united. Happy lovers at last, united. Oh, happy lovers at last, united. Oh, happy lovers at last, united.
yeah, another one that I think fits into it has a Smiths vibe to it, sort of sonic territory. And yeah, it did have a painful, not sarcastic, but that, like, assuming he's not being sarcastic in any of the lines, it's, he feels genuinely happy that he played a part in bringing people who had broken up or somehow fallen apart back together. But it sounds like it was at personal cost, because once that connection was made, neither one of them paid much attention to him anymore. They don't really want him in their life, which seems a harsh return for having played that role. And I do think that's kind of the point. And I wonder maybe if there was, like, he wanted to have a relationship perhaps with either one of them. Like, he found them both compelling in that way, but in the end, neither of them really wanted him. So he, like, served as the conduit for bringing them together, but it was maybe a double rejection in that regard. So it does feel like it's very much in the vein of a lot of his songwriting, and it's not only are a lot of his songs self-deprecating, but they're clever. Like, they're cleverly self-deprecating, or they're cleverly self-reflective, and looking at the garish truth about what people have said or how they're acting toward you and what that might imply. It seems like that's very much a staple of a lot of his work. So shout out to Morrissey, shout out to Seb once again. Do appreciate the ability to go through these, and not just the proper album, but all the bonus tunes, and everything's always so organized and has great metadata. You are vastly appreciated, sir, and it's very nice to have you back in the comments. There were a couple weeks where he was busy, and I was worried. I wondered where Seb was, but he assured me that he's just been busy, and I have seen him in comment sections recently. So shout out to you, shout out to Mark, shout out to Han Solo, and all the folks who've been commenting on the Morrissey reactions, going back through the Smith reactions, or Smiths plural. So in any case, let me know what you think of this one, this outtake, which maybe I get why there's some tunes that would be chosen before this, but ultimately I think this is very much a classic Morrissey tune, in the limited sense that I can use that phrase, not having heard his larger body of work. But I feel like this very much could fit into the album too. So I get it. Some songs, maybe the artist or the label or producer, whatever, feels are stronger. Some are stronger than others, but this is a cool tune. I enjoyed it, and it's very much in his alley lyrically, so it seems. So let me know what you think, and we'll see you next time. Peace.